All right, welcome to the Explainer, everyone. Today we're tackling the absolute ultimate playground debate. We've got data pulled straight from a wild breakdown of pop culture power scaling, and we're pitting the most legendary fictional characters of all time against, well, us, humanity, the entire world. Okay, let's dive into this. 8,200,000,000. I mean, just think about that staggering number for a second. That is the sheer scale of the global human population right now. Literally every single person on Earth. Usually, when we talk about these incredibly powerful characters, we're imagining them in one-on-one fights, right? But what happens when they have to deal with the absolute logistical nightmare of targeting 8 billion people scattered all over the globe?
So that brings us to the big question. How fast can they wipe out humanity? Based on our source material, we're going to structure this whole analysis by ranking these iconic titans. We're starting with the slowest destroyers and working our way all the way down to the terrifyingly fastest, like who actually takes their time and who finishes this monumental job before you can even blink.
Section 1. Multi-day planet destroyers.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly what we mean. Look, these characters possess completely unfathomable levels of power, but because of the massive volume of 8.2 billion humans spread across every continent, they still need a few days or hours to get the job done. Starting over on the left, we've got Eren Yeager. By transforming into the founding titan and unleashing the rumbling, which is this incredibly slow marching wall of colossal destruction, it takes him 4 days to completely wipe out the population. Then, moving to the middle, the legendary Godzilla cuts that time right in half. It takes him 2 days through a relentless non-stop combo of physical crushing and sweeping atomic beams. But then, check out the far right. Madara Uchiha drastically speeds up the timeline, dropping it from days to just 5 hours.
Section 2. Destruction in hours and minutes.
You really have to notice the stark contrast in their methods here. Like, look at Godzilla. He's physically stomping through cities, working tirelessly, and relying heavily on actual crushing and his famous energy beams to get it done in 48 hours. But Madara Uchiha? The source breakdown notes this really incredible detail. To wipe out 8.2 billion people in just 5 hours, Madara doesn't even need to throw a single punch. Seriously, no kicks. He doesn't even need to manifest his giant warrior avatar, the Susanoo. He pulls off this massive speed up purely by dropping an endless barrage of meteors from the sky. It's maximum devastation with literally zero physical exertion.
Now this brings us to one of the most uniquely described characters in our source data. The text here actually translates to Green Rhino, which is just a vivid, frankly hilarious description for the Hulk. I absolutely love that. This absolute force of nature acts exactly like a rampaging green rhino. According to the breakdown, the Hulk destroys half the world's entire population simply by ripping up massive buildings and violently throwing them at people.
So the crucial point here is how fast this green rhino actually wraps things up. Because once those buildings are thrown, the Hulk physically crushes and literally washes away the remaining population to finish the entire job in just 10 minutes. We've officially gone from 4 agonizing days to a literal coffee break for total global annihilation.
Section 3. Wiped out in seconds.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the razor-thin margins separating these god-tier icons. At this extreme level of power, we are literally splitting hairs down to the half-second. First up, we have Prince Vegeta. And the source notes something pretty amazing. It doesn't even matter which form he uses. He clears 8.2 billion people in exactly 3 seconds flat. Next, Superman. By utilizing every single one of his superpowers in perfect unison, the Man of Steel shaves off half a second, finishing his run in 2.5 seconds. And then, well, there's Saitama, clocking in at an unbelievable 2 seconds.
Section 4. The 2-second champion.
Saitama, the One-Punch Man himself. The source material is crystal clear on the math for this one. 8.2 billion people eliminated in just 2 seconds. When it comes down to wiping out humanity with ruthless, effortless speed, Saitama is the absolute fastest fictional destroyer on the board. He takes the ultimate crown with a whole half-second to spare. No contest.
But, of course, in the world of power scaling, you know the debate never truly ends. So, do you agree with Saitama taking the crown? Is a 2-second wipeout actually accurate to his feats? Or do you think someone like Superman or Vegeta got totally snubbed here? We've laid out the structured facts directly from the source material, but I want you to really think about these results and dive deeper into the lore yourself. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. Keep asking those big questions, and I'll catch you next time.